Sometimes reality is crazy, crazier than anything a novelist or a filmmaker or even just a really imaginative kid would be able to invent. Often trivia gets to the point where it boggles the mind and you find it downright unbelievable. There's no way a spy agencies used cats as spies. You might think, no, Boston wasn't nearly wiped off the map by molasses. If you peek into annals of human existence, whether it's a corroborated historical record or undisputed modern day fact, you'll find all manners of seeming fiction that is utterly, totally, 100% true. Don't believe us? That's fine. You don't have to. You should, however, at the very least, read on and test the bounds of your information because we've pinpointed the most bonkers stories of humankind. Number 1. There was a 4 times over dog mayor. The beloved mayor of Cormorant, a small township, retired this past summer after 4 consecutive terms in office. As much as he loved civil service, he was getting too old for the job. Dog was first elected in 2014 and continued to win yearly elections until announcing his retirement in 2018. Duke plans to write a book about his legacy of being a very good boy. Number 2. Typhoons saved Japan from Kublai Khan. Though the word kamikaze was later applied to Japanese suicide pilots during World War II, it literally means divine wind and is also used as a historical term to refer to 2 typhoons that swept through the island nation in 1274 and 1281. Both times, hordes of Mongols led by Kublai Khan sailed from China in an attempt to conquer Japan, and both times a massive storm swept them back. Japanese Buddhists of the time believed that the storm had been the God's way of preserving their empire, so they refer to the typhoons as the divine wind. Number 3. Genuine leather is a kind of garbage. Next time you're at mall, stop by a mid-range department store and take a look at the belt section. Chances are you'll see the word genuine leather stamped on the underside. Though yes, that does mean the belt is 100% leather, it also means that it is made of a cheapest grade of leather. Several low quality layers of hide pasted together. Top grain leather is what you'll find in the fine leather goods in designer stores. Full grain leather is the highest quality and longest lasting type, or if you really want to splurge, go for Italian leather. Number 4. Giant tortoises are going extinct because they're delicious. These days, giant tortoises live only on 2 groups of islands, and though there are several different species, all are in danger of extinction. They take a long time to mature and only have a few offspring, but one rather shocking reason for their rarity is their spectacular taste. When hungry sailors swept by their island, they could easily catch many of the slow-moving creatures and stash them on board. Since the animals can go up to a year without food or water, journals from the time show that European sailors described their meat as far tastier than chicken, beef, or pork. Number 5. A shot of espresso contains less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Many coffee purists swear by espresso, a form of coffee made by grinding the beans very finely and subjecting them to hot water at high pressure. It has a most concentrated flavor, so it must have a higher concentration of caffeine, right? Well, kind of. Espresso does have a more caffeine than a regular drip brew. A shot of espresso has 120 to 170 mg of caffeine. Number 6. Dinosaurs were different than you likely imagine. Since we have to piece everything we know about dinosaurs together from scattered fossils or pictures of how they appear and behave changes as we find more. For one, many non-flying dinosaurs, including the velociraptor, had feathers, but it's unlikely that any of them had the vocal cords to roar. Also, those fierce velociraptors were no bigger than a modern turkey. Don't let all this get you down, though it turns out that the sauropods, long-necked, long-tailed herbivores, would probably break the sound barrier with their tails, using them just like whips. Number 7. Lead was once used in makeup. You probably know that lead, which we now know to be very harmful, used to be included in products like crystal and gasoline. However, if you go even further back in history, you'll find a number of different civilizations that smear lead on their faces. In the form of makeup, ancient Egyptians lined their eyes with that contained lead salts. An ancient Roman woman used a face whitening cream full of lead. Even Queen Elizabeth I mixed lead and vinegar and applied it to her face to smooth her skin. Number 8. The high five is a recent innovation. It seems like simple gestures of one person slapping another's palm in victory must have been around forever, but in truth it may even be younger than you are. At a pro baseball game in 1977, Dodger player Dusty Baker hit his 30th home run of the season. As he rounded home and passed his teammate Glenn Burke in the on-deck circle, Burke raised his hand in exciting greeting. On instant, Baker reached up and slapped it because he said, "It seems like the thing to do." Thus the high five was born. Number 9. It's illegal to chew gum in Singapore. If you've ever looked on the underside of a public bench, you probably understand the desire to ban chewing gum. In 1992, the Prime Minister of Singapore was so fed up with the expense of cleaning wards of chewing gum of public facilities and the new public transportation system that he made the import and sale of chewing gum illegal. Though the ban is still in place, in 2004, the government made an exception for certain type of sugar-free gum sold by dentists who must record the name of anyone who buys it. Number 10. Benjamin Kyle. It's the kind of story you think only happens in high-minded cinematic fiction. In 2004, a man woke up in a dumpster next to Georgia Burger King without clothes or identification and couldn't remember who he was. This kind of dissociative amnesia is thankfully very rare. For more than a decade, he did everything he could to discover his real identity, even going on Dr. Phil, but it wasn't until 2015 that an ancestral DNA analysis found his family. Though he had given himself the name Benjamin Kyle, he was really William Burgess Powell of Indiana.